today's lesson, we are going to talk about the laws of indices. And the first law we are going to talk about is the power unity. The first law, the power unity. This is the first law of indices that we are going to talk about. This law states that any number raised to the power of 1 is equals to itself. You understand? Any numbers raised to the power of 1 is equals to itself. For example, if we have a raised to the power of 1 is equals to what? A. B raised to the power of 1 is equals to B. Now, let's try this. 2 raised to the power of 1 is equals to what? 2. 100 raised to the power of 1 is equals to what? 100. So the laws of power unity state that any numbers raised to the power of 1 is equals to itself. Any numbers raised to the power of 1 is equals to itself. Another rule of indices that we are going to talk about is the multiplication rule. The multiplication rule states that when we have the same number that have the same base, and these numbers are multiplying each other, the product of these numbers is equals to the same base raised to the power of the sum of the power. For example, if we have a raised to the power of x multiplied by b raised to the power of a raised to the power of x multiplied by a raised to the power of y. Don't forget the rule. These numbers, these letters are in the same base, but their power is different. The first a is raised to the power of x, and the second a is raised to the power of y. So multiplication rule states that when we have a situation like this, we're going to take one base and then sum up the power. You understand? So I'm going to have a raised to the power of x plus y. So this is the multiplication rule. Now let us try this. 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 2. Now, using the same approach, we can see that these numbers are in the same base. Are you getting it? Which is 2. So for this, I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of the sum of their power. Are you getting it? So the sum of their power, it will be what? 3 plus 2. That will be 2 raised to the power of 5. 2 raised to the power of 5 is 32. You understand? So now, let us have another work example. If we have 5 raised to the power of 1, 5 raised to the power of 1 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 2, this will be equals to, since this number have the same base, so I'm going to have 5 raised to the power of the sum of their power. I'm going to have 1 plus 2. This will be what? 5 raised to the power of 3. So 5 raised to the power of 3 is 125. Because 5 times 5, that is 25. 25 times 5 is what? 125. This means the meaning of 2 raised to the power of 5 is what? 2 raised to the power of 5 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. You understand? So 5 raised to the power of 3 is what? 5 times 5 times 5. You understand? So for this, I'm going to have 125. And for this, we're going to have 32. That is how I got 32 and 125. Now, I want you to pay attention. This rule is not applicable when we have a situation like this. 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. We cannot apply this rule. We cannot apply the multiplication rule because we didn't have the same base. Are you getting it? We didn't have the same base. So this is not equals to, this cannot be equals to 6 raised to the power of 6. It's not equals to 6 raised to the power of 6. Are you getting it? The reason why we cannot apply the rule is because we are not having the same base. Are you getting it? Assuming that we are having something like 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of, let me say, 2. You understand? This will be what? 3 raised to the power of 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2. So this will be 3 raised to the power of 4. You understand? 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3, that is 81. So for this, we're going to have 3 raised to the power of 4 is what? 81. You understand? So that is the multiplication rule. You can put it down. The multiplication rule states that when we have two numbers that have the same base, and these two numbers are multiplying each other, the product of these two numbers is equals to the same base raised to the power of the sum of their power. Are you getting it? So the same base raised to the power of the sum of their power. And if we have something like this, let me put 4, 2 raised to the power of 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 3. This can also be written as what? 2 raised to the power of 1 plus 2 plus 3. Do you understand? Oh, sorry. This is plus. 1 plus 1 and 1 plus 2, that's 3. 3 plus 3, that is 6. So this will be 2 raised to the power of 6. 2 raised to the power of 6 is 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 2, 16. 16 times 2, 32. 32 times 2, that is what? 64. So for this, I'm going to have 64. You understand? So that is how to this is all about the multiplication rule and the laws of indices. And if you want to check, maybe this is correct. Let's check. 2 raised to the power of 1 is what? 2. 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4. And 2 raised to the power of 3 is 8. Do you understand? So now let's check. 2 times 2, 4. Oh, 2 times 4, 8. So I'm going to have 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is what? 64. So this is correct. You understand? So, okay, the second part of the multiplication rule that I want you to understand is this. When we have the product of two numbers that have different base but the same power, that is, when we are told to multiply two numbers that have different base but the same power, their product is equal to the product of their base raised to a single power. Are you getting it? For example, if we have a raised to the power of c multiplied by b raised to the power of c, this is equals to a multiplied by b raised to the power of c, which is equals to ab raised to the power of c. Do you understand? That is, when we have two numbers that when we are multiplying two numbers that have different base but the same power, the product of these two numbers is equals to the product of their base, that is AB, you understand, raised to the power of single power. Are you getting it? That is C. Are you getting it? So, for example, if we have A raised to the power of X multiplied by B raised to the power of X multiplied by C raised to the power of X, this is equals to A multiplied by B multiplied by C raised to the power of X. For this, I'm going to have A, B, C raised to the power of X. Do you understand? Now, let us attempt this. If we have 5 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2, what is the answer? Don't forget, according to the rule, when we are told to multiply two different numbers that have different base but the same power, the product of these two numbers is equals to the product of their base, that is 5 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of a single power, raised to a single power among them. So that will be what? Raised to the power of 2. So for this, I'm going to have 5 multiplied by 3, that is 15. 15 raised to the power of 2. 15 multiplied by 15, that will give us 125. Okay, let's have example. Another example. Multiply 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 4 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 3. We still proceed as we have from the previous example. We are going to take the product of the base. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 3. You understand? 2 multiplied by 4, that is 8. 8 times 5, 2 multiplied by 4, that is 8. 8 times 5, that is 40. So for this, I'm going to have 40 raised to the power of 3. 40 raised to the power of 3 is 64,000. You understand? 40 raised to the power of 3 is 64,000. Okay, let us have another work example. Multiply 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 4 raised to the power of 3. You understand? So for this, we are still going to use the same approach. We are going to take the product of the base. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. So 2 multiplied by 3, that is 6. 6 multiplied by 4, that is 24. So for this, we are going to have 24 raised to the power of a single power. That is what? Raised to the power of 3. 24 raised to the power of 3. That will give us 13,824. 13,824. So now I want us to check maybe this is true or not. Let us check maybe this is true. Let us start with this. We have 5 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 5 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. 5 raised to the power of 2 is what? 25. 25 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 is 9. So 25 multiplied by 9, that will give us 225. So this is 2. This is correct. You understand? So let's check for this also. 2 raised to the power of 3 is what? 8. So 8 multiplied by 4 raised to the power of 3. 4 times 4, 16. 16 multiplied by 4, that is 64. So 8 multiplied by 64 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 3 is what? 5 times 5 times 5. Abi? So for this, we're going to have 5 times 5 is what? 25. 25 multiplied by 5, that is 125. So for this, I'm going to have 125. So 8 times 64 times 125, that will give us 64. So this is also correct. Now let's go for this. 2 raised to the power of 3, that is what? 8. Multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 3, that is what? 27. Multiplied by 4 raised to the power of 3, that is 64. If you multiply this, you are going to get 13,824. So that is the second part of the multiplication rule that I want you to know. Okay, now let us proceed to the division rule. The division rule states that when two numbers of the same base are dividing each other, the quotient of these two numbers is equals to a base raised to the power of the difference in power. You understand? This implies that if we have something like a raised to the power of b all over a raised to the power of c, the quotient, that is the division of these two numbers, is what? A raised to the power of difference in power. You understand? If I have x raised to the power of a all over x raised to the power of b, this is equals to x raised to the power of a minus b, that is the powers of the numerator minus the powers of the denominator raised to the same base. Are you getting what I'm saying? So now let's try this. If we have 2 raised to the power of 3 all over 2 raised to the power of 1, this is equals to what? 2 raised to the power of 3 minus 1. Abi? So 2 raised to the power of 3 minus 1, that is 2 raised to the power of 2. 2 raised to the power of 2 is what? 2 times 2, that is 4. You understand? So let's try this again. 3 raised to the power of 2 all over 3 raised to the power of 1. What's the answer to this? This is also the same thing as 3 raised to the power of 2 minus 1. You have to first take the powers of the numerator. Are you getting it? So 3 raised to the power of 2 minus the powers of the denominator. So I'm going to have 3 raised to the power of 2 minus 1, that is 1. So this is what? 3. Do you understand? So you can try this. I want you to try this. Try this. 4 raised to the power of 2 all over 4 raised to the power of 1. I want to pause this video and attempt this question. In order to get the answer, we are still going to use the same approach. That will be 4 raised to the power of 2 minus the powers of the denominator. This is what? 4 raised to the power of 1. This is what? 4. Now, I want you to attempt this as well. If we have 5 raised to the power of 3 all over 5. Don't forget that the power of this denominator is what? 5 raised to the power of 1. Are you getting it? Though I didn't put the 1, you understand? So I want you to understand that 5 is also the same thing as what? 5 raised to the power of 1. So for this, I'm going to have 5 raised to the power of 3 minus 1, because there is an invisible 1 to which this 5 is raised to. Are you getting it? So this is what? 5 raised to the power of 2. 5 raised to the power of 2 is 5 multiplied by 5. That is 25. So you can see how we solve the question. Now I want to practice this. 9 raised to the power of 5 all over 9 raised to the power of 4. What's the answer? The fourth law of indices is the zero rule. The zero rule states that any numbers raised to the power of 0 is 1. You understand? So if we have a raised to the power of 0 is what? 1. b raised to the power of 0 is 1. A, B, C raised to the power of 0 is what? 1. Are you getting it? So if I have 5 raised to the power of 0, what's the answer? Yeah, the answer is 1. So if I have 1000 raised to the power of 0, that is what? 1. If I have 10 raised to the power of 3 raised to the power of 0, the answer is what? 1. So if we have 4 raised to the power of 0, what's the answer? 5 raised to the power of 0, what's the answer? 6 raised to the power of 0, what's the answer? All these are what? 1, because the laws of indices is applicable here. The law of negative power states that when a number is raised to a negative power, we are going to take the reciprocal of that number. So a number raised to the negative power denotes its reciprocal. Are you getting it? So if I have a raised to the power of -1, you can see that this is a negative power. And according to the law, we are going to take the reciprocal of a. So for this, I'm going to have 1 over a. Do you understand? So if I have b raised to the power of -1, this is what? 1 over b. But now, if I have a raised to the power of -2, what will be the, according to this law, how will I write this expression? How will I write this? I'm going to take the reciprocal of a raised to the power of power. Raised to the power of the number that I have here. Do you understand? So if I have b raised to the power of -3, this will be equal to what? I'm going to take the reciprocal of b, that is 1 over b, raised to the power of the number that I have. Are you getting it? So let's try this. If we have 5 raised to the power of -2, what's the answer? This will be equal to 1 over 5 raised to the number that we have here. So I'm going to have 1 over 5 raised to the power of 2. 5 raised to the power of 2 is 5 times 5. So for this, we are going to have 1 over 25. Do you understand? Now let us attempt this. 24 raised to the power of -1. What's the answer to this? We're just going to take the reciprocal, that is 1 over 24 raised to the power of 1. 24 raised to the power of 1 is what? 24. So this also give this. You understand? So for example, if you have 5 raised to the power of -4, what is the answer to this question? We are going to take the inverse of this number, that is 1 over 5 raised to the power of the power that we have, 4. Are you getting it? So the law states that anytime we have a number that is raised to a negative power, we are first going to take the inverse of that number. Are you getting it? We're going to take the inverse, that is 1 over a, raised to the power of the negative power. Raised to the power of the magnitude of the negative power. So we're going to have this raised to the power of 1. But I didn't put 1 here because there is no need. A raised to the power of a is what? A. So, but if we have a raised to the power of -2, it is very, very important that we put the power. Do you understand? So let's attempt this. 2 raised to the power of -4. What is your answer? Pause this video, then attempt this, then play it back. Okay? This will be, we are going to take the inverse of these two. So 1 over 2 raised to the power of 4. You understand? So now 2 raised to the power of 4 is what? 32. 16. So this is what? 16. You understand? So that is how this law works. Now let's proceed to the 6th law, the multiplication of power. Let's assume that we have a raised to the power of b raised to the power of c. This law states that this can be written as a raised to the power of b multiplied by c. Do you understand? That is a raised to the power of bc. Do you understand? So let's have a practice example. Let's assume that we have 5 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2. According to this law, this can be written as 5 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 2. And this can be written, this will give 5 raised to the power of 4. Do you understand? The reason why we have this is because, don't forget that if we have a raised to the power of a raised to the power of b raised to the power of 2. This can be written as a raised to the power of b multiplied by a raised to the power of b. Do you understand? For example, if we have x squared, this can be written as what? X multiplied by x. Are you getting it? If you have y squared, that will be what? Y multiplied by y. If we have y raised to the power of 3, this will be what? Y multiplied by y multiplied by y. Do you understand? So, now let's proceed. So, if I want to express this, if I want to proceed with this expression, I'm going to take one base according to the laws of indices, the multiplication rule. That will be what? I'm going to take one base, then I'm going to add the power. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have multiply b plus b. This is what? A raised to the power of what? 2b. Do you understand? So this law, if I want to make use of this law, that is the multiplication of power, I can easily rewrite this. I can rewrite a raised to the power of b raised to the power of 2 as what? A raised to the power of 2b. I'm just going to multiply the power with the exponent that I have here. Do you understand? So instead of going this long way, do you understand? So let's have another practice example. If we have 6 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2, this can be written as what? 6 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 6 raised to the power of 2. Actually, I can just multiply the power by taking this 2 multiply 2. I can just multiply it. You understand? But I want to how we come about this formula, how we come about this rule. I want you to understand. You understand? So that is the why it goes this long way. Do you understand? So let's proceed. This will be what? 6 raised to the power of 2 plus 2. This is what? 6 raised to the power of 4. Do you understand? Are you getting it? So if I want to make use of this rule now, 6 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2 is what? 6 raised to the power of 2 times 2. That will be what? 6 raised to the power of 4, which is also the same thing as this. Do you understand? So now let us have another work example. Let us know that we have 3 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 4. If I want to make use of this rule, I can easily say that 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by what? 4. Are you getting it? According to this rule. Are you getting it? According to this rule, I'm going to have 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 4. This is what? 3 raised to the power of 8. Okay, if I want to go with the multiplication rule, the multiplication rule that we learned the other time, we can easily proceed as this. 3 raised to the power of 4, 3 raised to the power of 2 to the exponent of 4, that will be what? 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. Because 3 raised to the power of 2 to the power of 4 signifies that we are going to have 3 raised to the power of 2 in 4 places. Are you getting it? So, and according to the multiplication rule that we learned in this lesson, that will be what? 3 raised to the power of 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. This will be what? 3 raised to the power of 8. So, instead of going this long way, I'll just make use of this. Just multiply the exponent of the I will multiply the exponent of this 3, multiply the overall exponent, that is 4. That is what? 3 raised to the power of 2 times 4. That is what? 3 raised to the power of 8. Do you understand? So that is all about the multiplication rule. Are you getting it? So I want you to try this by yourself. Multiply 125 raised to the power of 2 to the power of 0. What's the answer? Pause the video and then answer the question. Don't forget that according to the law of indices, any number raised to the power of 0 is what? 1. Are you getting it? For this, we are going to have 125 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 0. That will be what? 125 raised to the power of 0, which is what? 1. Do you understand? So, now, that's how to go about that. Let us proceed to the 7th law. Fractional power and rule. Okay, if we have a raised to the power of 1 over 2, this is also the same thing as what? The square root of a raised to the power of 1. You understand? Now, please, I want to pay attention. If we have a raised to the power of 1 over 3, that will be the cube root of a raised to the power of what? 1. Do you understand? So, if I have a raised to the power of 2 over 3, this one that I put here, that is the one that is the one of the exponent. That is the numerator of the one in this exponent. You understand? So if I have a raised to the power of 2 over 3, this is also the same thing as the cube root of a. The cube root, are you getting it? Because I have 3 here, that will be the cube root of a raised to the power of the numerator of the exponent. That will be what? Raised to the power of 2. Do you understand? So let's try this. If you have b raised to the power of 3 over 4, how can you express this in this form? That will be the fourth root of b. Are you getting it? So we're going to have the fourth root of b raised to the power of the numerator of the exponent. That is raised to the power of 3. Do you understand? Okay, now let us use this to practice some examples. Can you simplify this? If we have 25 raised to the power of 1 over 2, what's the answer? That will be the root. That will be the root of 25. The reason why I didn't put these 2 here is because this root signifies the 2. You get what I'm saying? So raised to the power of the numerator of the exponent. So this is equal to the square root of 5 is 5. You understand? So let's have this work example. 36 raised to the power of 1 over 2. That will be the square root of 36 raised to the power of the exponent. You understand? Oh, sorry. The numerator of the exponent is what? 1. So this will be what? 1. So the square root of 36 is what? 6. So the answers to this is 6. Okay, let's have another work example. Can you attempt this? 49 raised to the power of 2. 49 raised to the power of 1 over 2. I want you to pause this video, then attempt this. Then play the video, then look at the correct answer. Now let's proceed to solve this. For this, we are going to have the square root of 49 raised to the power of the power of the numerator of the exponent, that is 1. So for this, we are going to have 7. 7 raised to the power of 1 is 7. So there is no need of writing 1. The answer is 7. Now, I want you to attempt this. What if you have 25 raised to the power of 25 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 1 over 2? What's the answer to this? We are going to use the multiplication rule that we learned. That is, for this, we are going to have 25 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 1 over 2. This is equal to what? 25 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 1 over 2. That is 2 over 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. That is 25 raised to the power of 1. And this will give us what? 25. Do you understand? Do you understand? So, and however, if you want to proceed with this law, we can rewrite this expression, that is 25 raised to the power of 2. This is not minus. Raised to the power of 1 over 2. That is what? The square root of 25 raised to the power of 2. Do you understand? Raised to the power of the numerator. I mean, the reason why I'm putting this one there is because sometimes our fraction, our exponent might not be 1, it might be 3. For example, like this. So it's important that we put 2. It's better that we put it. You understand what I'm saying? So now let's proceed. This square root will cancel this square root. Is that not it? So that's it. This square will cancel this square root. So for this one, I'm going to have 25 raised to the power of 1. So this is what? 25. So you can see that all these laws are interwoven. Are you getting it? They are interwoven. Now, you can be given a question whereby you are going to apply more than 3 laws of indices in order to arrive at your answers, in order to simplify the expression that you are given. You understand? So it is important that you know all these laws. Are you getting it? So let us look at some, all the application of these laws. Example 1. simplify 1 over 4 raised to the power of minus 1 over 2. Now, if I may ask you, which law are you going to employ to simplify this based on what we have learned in our previous, based on what we have learned so far? Which laws among the laws of indices are you going to employ to simplify this? Yeah, we are going to employ the law of negative power. You understand? That is, if we have something like a raised to the power of minus 1, that will be what? 1 over a. So if I have a raised to the power of minus 2, this is what? 1 over a raised to the power of 2. If I have 1 over a raised to the power of minus 1, this is what? 1, we are going to take the reciprocal, that is 1 divided by 1 over a raised to the power of what? 1. Do you understand? We are going to employ the same rule in this place. So now, don't forget that according to the laws of negative power, when a number is raised to any negative power, we are going to take the reciprocal. You understand? So now let us take the reciprocal of this with respect to the power. So for this, we are going to have 1 divided by 4, 1 divided by 1 over 4. Are you getting it? Negative power, 1 divided by 1 over 4, raised to the power of 1 over 2. Do you understand? That is, we are going to take the reciprocal, because if I rewrite this now, I'm going to have something like this. 1 all over 1 over 4 raised to the power of what? 1 over 2. Do you understand? That is, when we have any number raised to a negative power, we are going to take the reciprocal of that number, for example, like this. So now, that's what I did here. You understand? So now, let us proceed. For this, we are going to have something like this. Are you getting it? So now, I'm going to proceed here. We're going to have something like this. Now, let's proceed. For this, I'm going to have 1 divided by... Now, take the square root of 1. The square root of 1 is what? Because if we have a raised to the power of 1 over... a raised to the power of 1 over 2, this is what? The square root of a. Do you understand? So, we're going to take the square root of 1 over 4. Do you understand? So, let's proceed. This will be what? 1 divided by square root of 1 over 4, that is what? 1 over 2. So, for this, I'm going to have 1 multiplied by 2 over 1. So, the answer to this question is what? 2. Do you understand? We make use of the laws of negative power. However, you can proceed second approach. Second approach. For this is 1 over 4 raised to the power of minus 1 over 2. You can make use of this approach. Don't forget that if we have 1 over 2 is what? 2 raised to the power of minus 1. Do you understand? That is, when we have any number raised to the negative power, we're going to take the reciprocal of that number. You understand? So, now, 1 over 4 can be written as what? 4 raised to the power of minus 1. Do you understand? So, 4 raised to the power of minus 1, all into bracket raised to the power of minus 1 over 2. Do you understand? So now, according to the multiplication of power, if we have a raised to the power of b into bracket c, that would be what? A raised to the power of b times c. So we are going to make use of this law in this place. So for this, I'm going to have 4 raised to the power of minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 over 2. So minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 over 2, that is 4 raised to the power of 1 over 2. Because minus negative, we cancel, negative multiplied by negative, that is positive. So that is the positive 1 over 2. So I told you that if you have 4 raised to the power of 1 over 2, that is what? The square root of 4, according to this law. So for this, I'm going to have the square root of 4, which is equal to what? 2. So we have the same answer. If you can use this approach, you can make use of this. And if you follow this approach, that is the law of negative power, you still arrive at the same answer. So let's proceed to example 2. Okay. Example 2. Simplify 8 raised to the power of minus 2 all over 3. Now, which laws are we going to employ to simplify this? We can make use of the laws of negative power. Are you getting it? So For this, I'm going to have, because I have negative power, I'm going to take the reciprocal of 8 to the power that I have there. So for this, I'm going to have 1 all over 8 raised to the power of 2 over 3. Do you understand? Now, we're going to make use of the seventh law. Are you getting it? Which states that if we have a raised to the power of 2 over 3, this can be written as, we're going to take the cube root of a raised to the power of the powers of the numerator of our exponent. You understand? So we're going to make use of the same law here. This can be written as this: 1 over 8, the cube root, the cube root of 8 raised to the power of 2. Do you understand? Now, for this, I'm going to have the cube root of 8 is what? 2. So I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 2. So we're going to have 1 over 4. You understand? So the answers to this question is 1 over 4. However, you can still proceed on another method. This is the first method. Let me call this the first method. Let's have the second method. Now, if you didn't want to go this way, you can make use of this method. Don't forget that 8 can be written as what? 8 can be written as, okay, let's first deal with negative power. We are still going to have 1 over 8 raised to the power of 2 over 3. Abi? So, for this, we're going to have 1 over 8 can be written as 2 raised to the power of 3. You understand? That is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 multiplied by 2, that is 8. So, I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 3. All into brackets 2 over 3. You understand? According to the multiplication power, the rule of multiplication of power, like when we have A raised to the power of B raised to the power of C, this is what? A raised to the power of BC. That is the power we multiply each other. You understand? So for this, I'm going to have 1 over, look at this, 2 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 over 3. You understand? So for this, I'm going to have 1 all over this 3. We cancel this 3. So I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 2. That is what? 1 over 4. See, we still arrive at the same answer. So it depends on you which method, how much, it depends on you, the method that you want to use. I get it. So that's the simplification of 8 raised to the power of negative 2 over 3 is what? 1 over 4. Is 1 over 4. Example 3. Simplify 0.008 raised to the power of 1 all over 3. To solve this question, to simplify this, first change 0.008 to fraction. Are you getting it? I want to express this in standard form. That is 0.008 will be equals to what? 1, 2, 3. So that I'm going to have 8.0 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of minus 3. You understand? So that will be what? 8 over 10 raised to the power of 3. That is 8 over 1000. Do you understand? For this, I'm going to have 8 all over 1000 raised to the power of 1 over 3. 1 over 3, this can be written as the cube root of 8 divided by 1000. That is the third root of 8 over 1000. And the third root of 8 over 1000 is what? Let's start with 8. The third root of 8 is what? 2. That is 2 all over. The third root of 1000 is what? 10. So 2 over 10. This is what? 1 over 5. So if you can proceed, that will give us 0.2. So the final answers to the simplification of 0.008 raised to the power of 1 over 3 is what? 0.2. You understand? And you can proceed in this way. Another method. You can proceed like this. Since you have already known that the fraction of 0.008 is what? 8 over 1000. So you can say that 2 raised to the power of 3 all over 10 raised to the power of 3. Do you understand? So this can be written as 2 over 10 raised to the power of 3. Oh, sorry. We have to put this. That is 1 over 3. All into bracket 1 over 3. Do you understand? That is, I have to put the exponent. I only change this. I change what is in this bracket. After changing 0.0082 to fraction, then I raise it to the power 3, because by the time I take the exponent of this, I'm still going to get what? 8. That is 2 times 2 times 2, that is 8. 10 times 10 times 10, that is what? 1000. So now, according to this law, a raised to the power of b, a raised to the power of c is what? A raised to the power of b times c. So I'm going to make use of the same law in this place. So I'm going to have 2 all over 10 raised to the power of, this 3 will multiply the exponent. So I'm going to have 3 multiplied by what? 1 over 3. That is what? 2 over 10 all over 1 raised to the power of 1, because 3 times 1 over 3, that is 1. 3 times 1, that is 3. 3 divided by 3, that is what? 1. So I'm going to have this 1 over 5, which is also the same thing as what? 0.2. So when you are dealing with indices questions, just make use of the method that is best known to you. You understand? So now let's proceed to the fourth example. Okay. Example 4. Simplify minus 8 raised to the power of 4 over 3. Now, to solve this question, I can rewrite minus 8 raised to the power of 4 over 3 as this. Minus 8 raised to the power of 4 raised to the power of 3. Raised to the power of 1 over 3. Do you understand? If I have an expression as this, a raised to the power of 2 over 3, I can rewrite it as this. A raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 1 over 3, because by the time I multiply this power by 1 over, I multiply these 2 by 1 over 3, I'm going to have what? 2 over 3, that is what? A raised to the power of 2 over 3. Do you understand? So now let us proceed. Now, minus multiplied by minus. Minus in 4 places, that is minus times minus times minus times minus. That is what? Positive. Are you getting it? So at the end of the day, I'm going to have positive 8 raised to the power of 4 raised to the power of what? 1 over 3. Do you understand? So 8 can be written as 2 over 3. So I'm going to have 2 over 3 raised to the power of 4 raised to the power of 1 over 3. Now, according to the multiplication rule, are you getting it? I can multiply 2 multiplied by 4. So I'm going to have 8. 3 multiplied by 4, that is what? 2 raised to the power of 4 times 3, that is 12. 12 raised to the power of 1 over 3. You understand? So for this, I'm going to have 12 multiplied by 1 over 3, that is what? 12 over 3. 12 over 3. And 12 divided by 3, that is 4. So I'm going to have 2 raised to the power of 4. 2 raised to the power of 4 is what? 16. So the final answer to this question is what? 16. To watch other solved example on indices, go to the description of this video, click on the link that is there. That link will direct you to where you can watch numerous questions that I solve on indices. That is the end of today's class. See you in the next class.